This is an extreme tragic and heartbreaking incident. A scene like that is something that nobody should ever have to see.
Quote, say goodbye to your kids. It's chilling. And those are the alleged words a North Dakota mom said to her husband before she allegedly barricaded herself inside her home and proceeded to kill her children.
We can share that the 5-month-old and the 3-year-old have passed away. The 1-year-old is still being treated at a local hospital.
Miraculously, one of the kids survived, but now the suspect's family and the community are left with a ton of unanswered questions. Most importantly, what was the breaking point for this young mom of 3, leading to such a horrific act of violence?
Say goodbye to your kids. That is what a 22-year-old North Dakota mother allegedly told her husband on the evening of August 6, 2026, before she barricaded herself inside their Mandan home with their 3 children. By the time police forced their way in, a 5-month-old and a 3-year-old had already been murdered. A 1-year-old was fighting for his life, having undergone extensive surgery. The mother, Kailey Erhart, was found covered in blood, holding a kitchen knife to her own throat. She dropped the knife and told the officers to kill her. Think of the videos that were already saved on a phone, footage captured before the first officer ever arrived. A father, desperate, recording his wife carrying their child with a pistol pointed at her hip. The video was not a mystery. It was evidence. It was a warning. It was a record of something that had already been said, already been threatened, already been predicted. The video existed before the 9/11 call. The threat existed before the blood. The paperwork, the phone, the camera, they already knew. The paperwork already knew. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Crime Files 90 Lennon, because we don't just cover the story. We follow the evidence. This is not a story about a sudden snap. This is a story about a slow, documented, predictable collapse.
Well, you heard it from the police chief. I mean, this is just an awful story, a heavy story that we're following out of North Dakota. That chief saying it was a scene that was something nobody should ever have to see. Walking into a home and witnessing 3 kids, all under the age of 4, horrifically injured, and allegedly they were injured at the hands of their own mom. And those are just a few of the details that police in Mandan, North Dakota have shared as they're trying to piece together an act of violence that you pray you would never have to see as a member of law enforcement, that no one would ever want to see. And this horrific act of violence has led to the loss of at least 2 young innocent victims and the serious injury of a 3rd. Now, we have the probable cause affidavit, and it was not easy to read. And it reveals even more details that are so shocking, details that the press conference that aired on KFYR television out of Bismarck, North Dakota did not cover, including what police say was an increasingly toxic dynamic between the suspect in this case and her husband. They are both the parents of these kids, of the victims. And there was allegedly a physical altercation that led up to these murders that we'll talk about. And we're also going to break down where the
and the systems that watched it happen. According to the probable cause affidavit, the husband told police that Erhart had made repeated comments about killing herself and the children. He had reported these threats to mental health services. Burleigh County Social Services became involved. She had been committed to a mental health facility within the 12 to 18 months prior to the incident. She had been placed on medication, and she had been cleared to be with the children. Cleared. That is the word. Not cured, not monitored, not safe, cleared. On the night of the attack.
So I want to jump right into this case and what we know at this point. So this all began last week on Thursday night. It was August 6th. And according to the Mandan police chief, officers were dispatched to a home around 5:42 p.m. That's after they learned that 22-year-old Kailey Erhart reportedly locked herself inside the home with her 3 children and said that she was going to kill them. When officers arrived, they initially came in contact with the children's 22-year-old dad and the 43-year-old grandmother. I mean, this was an incredibly young couple. Police say the 2 of them, they were frantic in the front yard saying, quote, "She's in the residence."
On arrival, officers heard assault happening inside the home and forced their way in.
The sequence of events reads like a checklist of catastrophic failure. Erhart chased the children's father and grandmother out of the house with a knife. Before that, she had brandished a firearm at the husband. The father told police he managed to wrestle the gun away from her, disassemble it, and scatter the pieces throughout the house. He showed officers the video he had recorded
inside the home. But this is where the gun becomes another frankly chilling part of this story. Quote, the husband advised that during the incident, Kailey had been threatening him with a firearm. The husband advised that he had collected video on his cell phone and he was able to show officers the videos. This included a video showing Kailey carrying a child believed to be 5-month-old Ava with a pistol pointed at her hip. pointed to the ground. The husband told police that Kailey then said, quote, "Say goodbye to your kids." The husband advised that he was able to get the firearm from Kailey, disassemble the handgun, and throw the pieces throughout the house. He then said that Kailey then locked him out of the house. The husband also told police that while he was wrestling Erhart for the gun, she had scratched and bit him. And officers observed
Erhart carrying one of the children with the pistol on her hip, saying the words, "Say goodbye to your kids." He did everything a person in that situation could do. He took the gun. He broke it apart. He called for help. And still, she locked him out. Still, she found a kitchen knife. Still, she went to the bedroom. When officers forced their way into the home.
Now, here's what the probable cause affidavit says happened next. Quote, "A patrol officer entered the residence to find the children's mother, Kailey Erhart, holding a knife to her throat. Kailey was covered in blood across her upper body and pants. Kailey dropped the knife and ordered officers to kill her. The patrol officer described the knife as a kitchen knife with a longer blade." Now, police say that Erhart was detained without injury, but the horrific discoveries did not stop there. That he had located 3 children laying motionless on a bed in a bedroom directly off of the living room across from the front door. The children were covered in blood. The patrol officer noted that the blood was mainly concentrated near the neck area of all 3 children. According to police, 2 of the children, 3-year-old Morgan Erhart and 5-month-old Ava Erhart, succumbed to their injuries at the hospital, allegedly murdered by their own mom, while a 1-year-old child, 1-year-old, had surgery and survived. Police said they observed injuries on all of the children indicative of their throats being slit. A doctor also informed police that Morgan had
They found 3 children lying motionless on a bed in a bedroom directly off the living room. All 3 had wounds to their necks. The blood was concentrated near the neck area of all 3 children. A doctor later informed police that the 3-year-old had a laceration on her wrist, consistent with a defensive wound. A 3-year-old tried to protect herself from her own mother. The 5-month-old and the 3-year-old died. The 1-year-old survived surgery. In her interview with police, Erhart said,
Now, this is what Erhart allegedly told police in that interview. I'm going to read from the affidavit here. Quote, "Kailey advised the sergeant that she had placed the bodies of the 3 children on the bed inside the residence, and she believed she was the only one inside the residence when this happened. Kailey advised that she believed the children's throats had been cut prior to her placing the kids on the bed.
She remembered placing the bodies of the 3 children on the bed. She said she believed their throats had been cut prior to her placing them there. She remembered having the knife in her hands when police arrived. She said she did not remember everything that happened. The paperwork already knew. Here is the question that reframes this entire story as a thriller. Not just a political headline, not just a tragedy, but a systemic failure with a clock that was ticking down to 0. What do you do with a threat you have already documented, already verified, already confirmed, when the person making the threat has already been cleared to be alone with the children? Because the system did not fail to notice. The system failed to act. The husband had made prior reports. Mental health services had been involved. Child protective services had been notified. She had been hospitalized. She had been medicated. She had been cleared. And then 2 days before the murders, she purchased a Glock handgun from a store in Bismarck.
More specifically, a Glock brand handgun. And police said that text messages between the couple lead them to believe that the purchase was made just 2 days before the murders. So the husband, to some extent, knowing about these alleged mental health issues she was having, but also aware that she had went and bought a handgun at a store. Now, police believe that the murders in this case were carried out with a kitchen knife.
The gun was eventually recovered from the home, but by then, it didn't matter. The knife was already in her hand. Erhart has been charged with 2 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, 2 counts of terrorizing with a dangerous weapon, 3 counts of aggravated assault, and a misdemeanor count of domestic violence. She is being held at the Burley Morton Detention Center on a $3 million bond. Her preliminary hearing is set for October 6, 2026. A trial date has been scheduled for February 2027. But the legal process does not answer the question that lingers over every page of that affidavit. The system had the information. The system had the history. The system had the threats, the hospitalization, the medication, the clearance. And still, 3 children were placed in a bedroom with a mother who had already told everyone what she was going to do. The paperwork already knew. The probable cause affidavit in this case is a public document. It is available through the Mandan Police Department and has been obtained and published by multiple news outlets, including Valley News Live. Read it. Look at the timeline. Look at the reports that were made, the agencies that were notified, the clearance that was given. And then ask yourself one question. At what point does a documented threat become an actionable warning? And at what point does the failure to act become part of the crime? Drop your answer in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Crime Files 9/11. We don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence.